Well, hello. Welcome to Hot Jobs with Hire Military. Thank you all so much for joining us today. While we allow everyone to get on, we'd love to know what branches of service everyone is coming from today and who we have represented here at this LinkedIn Live. I myself am an Army vet. We have a Marine in our midst, as well as another Army vet as well. So please drop that in the comments. What branch of service are you coming to us from? So I'm sure you're familiar with all of our faces, but we'd love to be able to take a second just to introduce ourselves once again to you if we have any new guests in the audience. I am Kate Wood. I am a recruiter here at Hire Military, and I have Matt and Paul with me today. Matt, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Kate. So my name is Matt. I'm actually active duty in the Marine Corps still. I've been using SkillBridge with Hire Military as an account manager since late April. So it's pretty cool opportunity for me. I get to help people get into their SkillBridge internships while I'm actually doing one myself. So, if anyone has any recommendations or needs any advice on transitioning out, I'd be more than happy to help out. One of the cool parts about us is pretty much all veterans or military spouses. So ask any one of us any questions you want, and we'll be happy to help.
Awesome. Thanks, Matt. And Paul, welcome.
Yeah, thanks. Glad to be aboard. Like Matt, an account manager with Hire Military, Army veteran. Separated out in 2009, but I've been with Hire Military probably about the same time as Matt, about April, mid-April, late April, and love it. Love helping our transitioning service members and veterans and mil spouses out there.
Thanks so much. Thank you both for being here today. Really excited to hear about the SkillBridge opportunities that you both are going to be sharing with us today. But before we dive in, please let us know if you have any questions as we go along through our broadcast today. You can type those directly into the chats, and one of our team members will reach out to you or answer those in the comments. Also, know that there will be a link in the description to our careers page where you can find full position descriptions and the link to apply on all the opportunities that we're sharing today. Great. So that's enough about me. Let's get into it. Paul, I'd love to hear more about exactly what is the DoD SkillBridge program and how does it help our service members?
Yeah, great question to start with. SkillBridge is a career skills program. So it's a DoD initiative, and it's set up for transitioning service members that are within the last 180 days of their contract. What they do is they go on an internship with a company. We have over 100 partner employers that we're partnered with that are offering internships that are filled by these DoD SkillBridge internships. And what does that mean? You are still paid by the military. All your benefits and pay remain in place. You get to either stay in place in a remote internship, or some service members decide to travel, but you'll be interning with a company. Any kind of role, we span industries and locations across the country, but what it is an opportunity. It's an opportunity to get experience in the civilian workforce while you're still serving. It's an opportunity to meet your employer, kind of assess the culture of the company, figure out, hey, is this what I want to do when I get out and continue on in my civilian life? And it's also an opportunity for the company to get a good feeling of what you bring to the table. And then upon completion of that internship, when you near the time that you're going to go on terminal leave and separate out, that internship has a strong chance of turning into a full-time opportunity. You'll interview for a full-time role, negotiate a salary, and then continue on as a full-time employee.
Wow, that's so great. It is really such an amazing initiative. I wish that there would have been SkillBridge opportunities when I transitioned, but it's really just a great opportunity for our service members to get some exposure of different industries, different fields that they're interested in, and really help launch their career post-military service. So thank you so much. Yeah. And when it comes to Hire Military, what sets Hire Military apart when it comes to the SkillBridge process?
So I would point out a couple things. One, Matt touched on it a little earlier. We're all service connected in some way. We're either a veteran or a service member that's doing a SkillBridge, while helping others find their own. And the second is that we are, the personal level of service, customer service. We help on both the front and the back end. We help you find an internship that you would like to pursue, help you get in front of the employer. Once you interview and are selected, on the back end, we help with the paperwork process. We're going to work with you to get you all the paperwork that you need to submit to your chain of command, and work with them to get that all approved.
Great. I love that. That we offer that white glove service, if you will, here at Hire Military for our candidates and for our clients in facilitating these SkillBridge internships. So great. Thank you so much for that, Paul. And just as a note for anyone tuning in, as we share roles, if you're interested, please comment with the specific title of the role that you are interested in, and we'll reach out to you directly following this broadcast. So great. Matt, you are up first. I'd love to hear more about the opportunities that you have.
Okay, thank you. So the first one I have to talk about, I'll talk about a few different ones, but it's with Bruckner's Truck and Equipment. This one specifically is located in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. This is for anyone that has a mechanical background. This could include aviation background, personal vehicles. They're really looking for people with diesel mechanic background. Just think they're a big truck in sales, but they're looking for the service technicians, and this one specific is for a mobile service tech. So if you have that background and you really like working independently, you're going to be on the move a little bit on your own during this time, this is for you. You're moving from location to location. Vehicles break down at different locations. You can go there and perform diagnostics. You have familiarity working with engines, transmissions, clutches, you name it. If you have that background, reach out, because they want people with that core background, and then during that internship they can help grow and develop into that culture they're looking for, like Paul was talking about. So you really get the opportunity to work with them and partner with a great company that's really looking to hire on some transitioning military once they get out.
Great. And I think that sounds like a great role for any of our mechanically minded MOSs, people that have that experience, that have worked on, military vehicles.
I've had quite a few. Sorry, I've had a lot on that registered with us, or I see people that are looking for them. Again, Dallas Fort Worth, it's a pretty good area. I was looking to move there myself when I get out here in a few months. But there's a lot of MOSs out there that can translate very well into this. Like I said, they're looking for people with aviation mechanic background, or even just like motor transport. You have that experience, reach out, because it's a good opportunity, especially if you like working independently.
Great. Love that. Thanks so much. And the next role you have is with the same company, but as a service tech.
Yeah, so this is very similar, but it's going to be located on site for the most part. It's Alexandria, Louisiana, that location. There's going to be one in Texas. They're looking at Odessa, Texas. There's a few other ones in Texas that are available on their website. But for right now, it's mostly looking like the Odessa, Texas area. And then there's two of them in Colorado. There's like the Commerce City, Colorado Springs area. So if you're on those areas, or that's an area you want to move to, those are all pretty high profile locations where people want to settle down. So great opportunity. It's a lot of similar requirements. It's just going to be more on site. So if you have that background in a mechanic, working on brakes, clutches, electrical systems. I had somebody with more of an electrical background. They still wanted to at least talk to them, because maybe there's something else available for them. And this is a time where, if you have a certain background closely related, we probably have something else that we can find that'll be a good fit for you. So if you have any of these, especially trade backgrounds, let us know, and we can, try to help you as best we can.
Great. And that's a great point, Matt, as well, that these are just a few of the opportunities that we're highlighting today. We have many, many more available on hiremilitary.us. And if you reach out to any of our account managers, they'd love to share those opportunities with you. So, sorry, going back to you, Matt, let's hear about your next role with ServPro.
Okay, so ServPro, they're very big into like fire and water damage, repair, restoration. So think natural disasters that happen in big tornadoes, fires, things like that in certain areas, especially for Mount Pleasant, which is pretty close to where I'm at right now in South Carolina. We have hurricanes, we have bad weather, like it's out there. So like the production technician, this is one where you are getting your hands dirty. You're using excellent communication skills. You're good at multitasking. You have experience in cleaning and restoration. There's a lot of room for growth. It's a big company that's out there. They have a pretty big footprint. But this is just one of the locations that we have available. You just need to a high school diploma or GED. You have the ability to lift heavy objects, multitask. You show up to a location, you got to be able to communicate very well with customers. So you got to have good, positive attitude. But they're willing to work with you. There's a lot of room for development too.
Great. And you have another role with them as well, a crew chief.
Yep. So crew chief, just think, they're the ones supervising all of the production technicians. So dang near anyone getting out of the military, you have some sort of leadership background, and you're just, whether it's managing, small groups of 3 or 4 people, up to 12, up to 40, it depends on what it is, but you have the experience leading others, supervising, delegating, you're managing a lot of the documentation, ensuring for accuracy, that quality assurance. You're managing all of the costs of projects, things like that. So you're working more so in that supervisory role and just making sure everything gets done accurately and you're meeting all of the customers' needs and expectations.
Wow, it sounds like a great opportunity to just really understand the inner workings of a company, how different business lanes work together. Sounds like a great opportunity. Thank you. And you have one more for us, Matt, with CrowdStrike.
Yeah, shifting gears a little bit from like the trades hands-on one. So this is a project manager with CrowdStrike. They're very big into cybersecurity. They absolutely love bringing on transitioning service members into these internships. So the project managers, there's a lot of people getting out that going after their project management certifications or degrees, which is a huge plus when getting into this. But you still have to have the solid, IT and cybersecurity background, because that's what they really want, somebody with a passion for cybersecurity. But you're working on supporting the security and research and development teams. You're working on scheduling, execution of projects for the team. You're working closely with all of the engineers, data scientists, researchers, managers. But if you have that background in the cybersecurity world, but you also have the experience with program and project management, which a lot of people getting out of the military have. It's not necessarily specific. You need to have a PMP certification or degree. That does help out a lot. But you have a lot of background with cyber IT roles, but you've also managed projects. You've supervised groups of people, working collaboratively with, adjacent teams to reach goals. Like, you'll probably be a very good fit for this one.
Great. And an awesome location in Boston. That's a great area as well.
Yeah. So Boston, Massachusetts, they're also, if you're able, it's like in the New Jersey area, around that general area, they're willing to work with the location a little bit, but it's primarily going to be out of like the Boston, Massachusetts area.
Great. Thank you. Wonderful opportunities, both like you mentioned, in kind of the technical skilled roles, as well as that opportunity with CrowdStrike. So thank you so much, Matt. And again, if you are interested in any of these roles, please type the specific title into the chats, or if you know someone else that might be interested, tag them in the chats with a specific title, and someone from our team will reach out to them following the broadcast. Great. So Paul, you are up. I'd love to know more about the exciting partnerships you have with some of our clients and the opportunities that they are offering for SkillBridge internships.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to touch on that last part that Matt promoted. Heck, I lived in Boston. I would love to go back. That's a great city. So I just wanted to plug Boston real quick. The first opportunity I wanted to talk about today, we've promoted it once or twice on sessions like this in the past, but it's a company called Yard Card Supply. They are veteran owned. The person that I work with this company, veteran, real cool company. What they do is they don't sell to the public. What they do is they enable people that want to be entrepreneurs in sort of the graphic design business. When COVID first hit, right, everybody was doing remote graduations, birthday parties, showers, you name it, drive-by celebrations where people would wave. That's when the Yard Card became really popular. There was a boom. And so what Yard Card does is they design sets of these Yard Cards, and then they empower people that want to sort of have a rental business in, wherever they're located, and be an entrepreneur and rent out these cards to people in the neighborhood. Really cool business design. What they're looking for is a graphic designer and visual marketer, and primarily doing graphic design work. So you need some experience in Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator, but there's also opportunities to do other things outside of that. We're talking about website work, HTML, Java. We're talking about social media marketing, and learning the business side of things, running your own business, being an entrepreneur. It doesn't have to just be graphic design related. That is kind of the core, but they are kind of flexible in that regard too. Nice thing about this one is that it's 100% remote. They are based out of Florida, up towards Jacksonville, but doesn't matter where you're at. It can be 100% remote for this internship.
Wow, this sounds like a really great opportunity. And
Yeah.
I love that you mentioned there's opportunities to kind of learn different business lanes in this internship as well. Whether it's, like you mentioned, graphic design, visual marketing, digital media, social media management, just a lot of great exposure to different opportunities that are out there and different things that you could specialize in. So that sounds like an awesome opportunity. And we love remote. We
Yes.
love those remote opportunities here as well for our transitioning service members. So thank you. Great. The next opportunity you have is a solutions architect.
Yes. So this company is Fife Systems and Software. They are a software development company. They're based, this says Fort Washington, Pennsylvania. For those that don't know, that's right outside of Philadelphia, major city. It's right in their backyard. So you might as well just say Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. The internships with Fife, they do prefer candidates that can be on site for the internship. It can grow into a full-time remote position. You don't have to necessarily stay there, but just wanted to put that on the front end. A solutions architect. What Fife does is they develop software for companies using low-code processes. What they design the software to do is to streamline business processes. So if you're talking about documentation, imaging, or operating systems, what they do is they develop custom solutions to help these companies navigate their business needs. And so a solutions architect works with the partners that Fife gets into a partnership with. And what they do is they design custom solutions with the software. So you're interacting with the business almost from a project management standpoint. You're interacting with their customers. You're assessing what their customer needs are. You're troubleshooting any potential issues and developing custom solutions around that. So another thing I'll point out about Fife, they're a company that wants to help somebody grow into a position. So if you take a look at the job description, maybe you don't have all of the certifications that are nice to have that are listed there. That's not necessarily a deal breaker. They like to interview people that have some experience, want to grow into something down the road, and they also are the type of company that will help you potentially move around. They're going to assess your strengths. Maybe you start off as a solutions architect, but you're super strong project manager. You might end up in a project management role full time. It's not it's something that's kind of flexible. So that's what I really like about Fife.
Great. Sounds like an amazing opportunity. I'm very partial to that Fort Washington, PA area. It's where my husband's from. So I'm a big Philly fan. It's another great city to experience and be able to possibly move to. So wonderful. Thank you for that. And the next two positions you have are with a company called Satellite Shelters. Yes,
Satellite Shelters, awesome company. They have a sister company called Satellite Industries. The two cores of those businesses are blast-resistant construction and waste kind of removal, construction site, that type of work. And Satellite Shelters, they have construction sites all across the country. And I don't know if you all have noticed, construction's crazy right now. The real estate market's crazy right now. Industrial construction, they can't even find the materials for some of these projects. Projects are being pushed out years in advance now because it's just, there's so much demand. What Satellite does is they come in construction sites, customer sites, and they build all of the modular offices for the people that will be running the construction sites. They're also providing all of the waste removal and sanitation facilities for those construction sites. So big business, warehouse supervisor. This position is specifically out in Fresno, California, West Coast. What you'll be doing is managing the day-to-day of an entire warehouse. So you need to have good people skills, obviously. If you have any experience in like Lean Six Sigma, project management certification, those are always a plus, not necessarily a requirement. But yeah, people interested in maintaining their logistics experience, want to get more into the operations side of things, take a look at it. This might be a great opportunity for you.
That does sound like a great segue into kind of that operations manager, warehouse supervisor roles in the future. I know we have a lot of logistics professions, MOSs throughout the different services. So that's a great opportunity. Thank you. And the last one you want to share with us, Paul, is an administrative assistant.
Yes. So this one, this one's in San Antonio. This one's more on the administrative side. What you'll be doing is working at a site and kind of handling the dispatching, the records keeping, keeping things from an HR perspective in line, very much on the internal side of the business, which is kind of cool because it's an indirect way into the construction industry. If you're looking, you don't want to be necessarily the one doing the construction work on site, but still want to be in the industry. This might be kind of a indirect route to get into it. Basic administration experience, folks. We're not looking for, so you don't have to have 10, 15 years of experience. This is for people that have, just a general baseline of experience that want to get into that field. I have seen different cities mentioned. The one that's open now is San Antonio, Texas. But if you keep an eye on the site, our site does change pretty frequently. We're always adding opportunities. There might be additional cities that come along for this one.
Great. San Antonio, another great location there
Absolutely.
As well for our transitioning service members. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Paul. Tons of great opportunities that Paul and Matt mentioned today. And again, if you or anyone you know are interested in any of these roles, please tag the specific title in the comments and someone will reach out to you in the following days to give you more information or answer any questions you might have about those roles specifically. So Matt, I'd love if you could share of just if someone is interested, what do they do? What are the next steps? How can someone apply for these SkillBridge internships?
All right, thank you. Yeah, so if you want to apply for any of these internships, and again, these roles specifically that we've been talking about are internships designed for people transitioning out of the military within the last 180 days. So with Hire Military, you go to hiremilitary.us, and if you're a year out from separation, you can create an account with us. And then once you have that account created, you can scroll through and you can apply for whichever internships you would like to apply for. Once you do that, you'll get some emails from us asking for some information. You just got to make sure you stay in contact with that account manager like myself or Paul. And we essentially kind of help walk you through the process from the application and then getting you in contact with our points of contact with each company, and then help facilitate setting up the interviews, providing a little bit of mentorship with resume writing, interview prep, things like that. So, if you want to apply, you just got to go to hiremilitary.us, create the account, put in some good information in there. It's going to ask you for end of service date, your availability for the internship date, sometime within that 180-day window, and then put in a good amount of information as far as, what you've done, what you want to get into, and then the location preferences too. Put in there which states you're interested in. Even if you're not 100% sure, put it in there because it'll help us out, providing recommendations, because we can see everyone that's in there. We know where everyone wants to live, and we can provide recommendations to you. It might open up opportunities you didn't know really existed before.
Absolutely. And just as a caveat there too, once you're registered with the Hire Military system, even if you're past that 180-day window for SkillBridge internships, or once you transition, the recruiting team at Hire Military has access to everyone in our database as well. And we source those people first when we have new roles for full-time opportunities as well. So once you're in our system, you have access to all the roles that we offer, whether it's SkillBridge internships or direct hire as well. So thank you so much for that, Matt. Please, again, anyone who is interested in these roles, Tag yourself in the comments with specific titles, and we'll reach out to you. And please connect and follow with each of us and everyone else on the Hire Military team on LinkedIn so that you're aware of any new opportunities that we share in the future. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today, and we will see you next week for another Hot Jobs with Hire Military.